Sarah Little, coming live to you from the Claremont Club for some excellent, how about that plug? For some excellent gentle yoga today. All right, grab yourself a strap approximation and maybe a couple of towels to sit on. Welcome, I'm glad you guys are here. Awesome. Okay, and let's do this. So, I'm still working with, I got feedback yesterday that the microphone was really low, that people couldn't hear it. I got one person's feedback on that. So if you would give me feedback in the comments today as to whether the microphone is working or not, and then maybe tomorrow we do a little testing or something, I don't know. But I'd like to get it so that things are working for all of us, okay? So please leave comments if the sound is funky for you, and then if there's a large number of people who the sound is being weird for, static today. Ugh, probably because I'm handling it. Okay. That would be useful. All right, so let's get going. I'm going to try to tuck it in. Let me know if that's still staticky. Okay. Take a seat. We're going to start with movement in a seat. So take a seat, sitting up on blankets or on a block or on a book if you want that. Otherwise, sitting tall, hands on your knees, and let's allow the bottom to come down towards the earth and press the crown of the head up towards the sky. Close your eyes and take a few breaths. Touch the hands together in front of your heart space. Lift your heart up. And bow your head. Taking this moment to honor your entire body. And maybe to make note of any place that needs some special loving attention. And letting that be part of what you set your intention towards. Release your hands down. Lift your head up. Let your eyes flutter open. And let's go ahead. I'm going to read some comments, but while I'm reading comments, go ahead and get moving. So we'll start with some Sufi Grind, inhaling as your body moves forward and exhaling as it moves back behind. And just find yourself in that rhythm. Okay. Paul, thank you. Paul says the sound is working for him so far. And then the next time your body comes forward, reverse directions. My daughter's complaining because nobody wants to talk to her during yoga when we're all turning inward. All right, we're going to work on that.
Yeah.
Turn inward, child. Turn inward. Come forward. Notice which shin is in front if you're sitting down cross-legged. You could also be doing this in a chair. All of these would work in a chair. Let's recross the legs the other way. And we're going to go back in the, we'll do about 5 loops one way. So just mobilizing the spine and the hips a little bit. And we're working on getting some access up into the neck and the throat. The next time you come forward, reverse directions. I guess I didn't do enough to wear her out. We did about a 22-mile bike ride this morning, but I guess
it was a 22-mile bike ride.
It was a 22-mile bike ride, and next week we're gonna have to do 30. She's gonna be this sassy.
It's gonna be
Exercise is torture, right? Okay. Now come neutral, and we're gonna lean forward on your inhale and exhale, round back. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, round back. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, round back. 3 more. Forward and back. And forward and back. And forward and back. Sit up really tall. Send your tailbone down. Lift up the low belly. Lift the center of your chest. See if you can release your shoulders down. And we're going to let the head just go side to side. So we'll inhale, center. Exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Keep moving. And just noticing, maybe you're getting more information from the right side of your neck. Maybe you're getting more information from the left side of your neck. Come to neutral. Bring your fingers up, and we're going to pet the chin. So you're going to start your fingers at your chin. You're going to pat down your neck, and then pin your skin right below your collarbone. And we'll let the chin go forward and draw back. And go forward and draw back. And go forward and draw back. Keep pinning that skin a few more times. Mobilizing in this way. And then release your hands and let your head bow towards your chest. Really let your head hang down. Let your forehead get heavy. But try not to let your upper back round. So keep the upper back really lifting as the head gets heavy. And then I want you to shrug your shoulders a little bit. On your inhale, let your shoulders elevate. And on your exhale, depress your shoulders. Inhale, elevate. Exhale, depress. Inhale, elevate. Exhale, depress. Keep them down slightly, but not jammed down. Lift your head up. And we're going to pet across the neck again. Pin the flesh right below your collarbone. And this time, I want you to take those head movements side to side. And feel that pull from right below your collarbone up in behind your ear or into your throat. The next time the ear goes over to the right, pat the left side of the neck again. Really pin down. And then with your head tilted to the right, let your chin come forward and draw back. Come forward and draw back. Come forward and draw back. Lift your head. Release. We've got the second side to do, but let's release the fingers for a moment. Maybe mobilize them. Pet across your neck. Pin right below your collarbones. So you feel, as you go over to the left, you feel that muscle pulling along the side of your neck. You can release on the right, and with the left hand. And then we will draw the chin forward and pull back. Draw the chin forward and pull back. Draw the chin forward and pull back. And maybe you have to walk your fingertips a little bit more closer to your collarbone. We're just looking for sensation, as always. Yoga is that sensational practice. All right. And then release. We're going to turn to the side and lie down on your mat. Already lying down. What does that mean? It means core work is what that means, actually. Okay, so here we are lying down on our backs. And I want you to bring your hands behind your head. Interlace your fingers. And then let your head be really heavy back into your hands. Drop your elbows towards the floor. Shrug your shoulders up and down a few times. So lift the shoulders up, drop the shoulders down, lift the shoulders up, drop the shoulders down. See if you can pin the shoulder blades between the rib cage and the floor. Move those low ribs down. Snuggle the navel point in. Feet are flat on the floor. Knees are headed up. We're going to inhale as we're down. As we exhale, squeeze your ears and draw your elbows towards your ears and draw your head up. Let your head be really heavy as you lower down vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Open the elbows all the way wide. So our inhale is down. Our exhale is squeezing the ears, lifting the head and chest. Inhale, release down. Exhale, squeeze the ears, lift. Let the head be really heavy as you're lifting up and lower down. You want your head to be basically a bowling ball in a sling here as we're moving. There's a temptation to do the work with the neck, and I want you to resist that temptation. In fact, let your head really press back into your hands so we're lengthening the back of the neck where we tend to shorten. Let's do 3 more. Exhaling, lifting up. Inhaling, lowering down. Exhaling, lifting up. Inhaling, lowering down. Last one. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Inhale, release down. Drop your elbows down and pause. Notice where you're building heat within the body. And now we're going to take some contralateral space. So as we're here, we'll reach our right elbows. Actually, we're going to do a little gliding along the floor, and then we'll come into more of a crunch-like thing. So right now, and if you need to look into the camera, that's fine, or at your screen. I'm going to keep my elbows on the floor, and I'm going to draw my left elbow down towards my left waist, and then I'm going to come back neutral and take the right elbow down by the right waist and come back neutral. This will be easier without your mat, probably if you have a slidey floor. It's a little bit more challenging on the mat. So if you want to kick the mat or just roll off of the mat, we're going to slide side to side. So it's a little glide to the right and a glide to the left. Again, keeping your, with nice squeak on our floor here, keeping your head pressing down into the hands, the elbows reaching towards the floor. So we're really broadening the upper back as we're moving. One more to the right, and neutral, and left, and neutral. Okay, pause. Open those elbows wide, draw the heads of the shoulders down. The knees are going to get in on the action. So as we, let's go ahead and take a few pelvic tilts. Inhale, drop your tailbone down. Feel your low back rise up. Exhale, drop your low back down and let your tailbone come up a little bit. Inhale, tail down, back up. Exhale, tail up, back down. So feel those options, right? As we're working in core space, I want you to think about drawing the navel point in and bringing, see, as we draw the navel point in, we're taking the tailbone long. So you want to be pretty flush with the floor, with your pelvis. We're not jamming the lumbar spine into the earth, but we're definitely engaging towards the floor, okay? So keep that engagement, inhale, and as you exhale, draw your left knee into your chest. So we'll do just the legs, inhale. As you exhale, draw your right knee into your chest. Inhale, exhale, left knee. Inhale, exhale, right knee. Inhale, exhale, left knee. Inhale, exhale, right knee. Inhale and pause, exhale. So now we're going to add a lift and turn as the knee comes up. So we'll do 2 lifts and turns without the knees, and then we'll add the legs. So as we inhale, we're down. As we exhale, draw the elbows towards the ceiling, and then lift and turn to the left. So you're going to be moving the right elbow towards the left knee and come down. Exhale, squeeze the ears, move to the right, inhale, down. So you can work it that way. If that feels like enough work, then you keep the legs out of it. If you want to add the legs, our inhale is elbows down. Our exhale, lift the elbows, lift the left leg. Maybe you come and counter, inhale, down. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, inhale, down. We'll do about 5 rounds, so we'll call this 2 here. If you were slipped in a couple of bonuses, you can decide to go for more, or you can get to 5 and say, I get extra pause time because I got started early. That's 3. 4. 5. Pause. Let your hands come out from behind your neck. And if you can, take your hands into cactus with your forearms on the floor, backs of the hands on the floor. If you're floating in cactus, then bring your arms lower so you can relax the backs of the hands towards the floor. Okay? Shrug the shoulders up towards your ears and drop them down towards your waist. Bring them up towards your ears, drop them down towards your waist. Shrug them up towards your ears, drop them down towards your waist. And then we're going to do work just with the neck and the head. So we'll inhale as we're down. Think about low belly drawing together. There's that drawstring action. Navel towards spine, tailbone shooting long, low ribs down. Inhale, press your shoulders down, your elbows down. Exhale, lift your head up and try to place your chin in your sternoclavicular notch. And then as we inhale, we'll release the head back towards the floor. Soften the jaw. Inhale while you're down. Exhale, lift the head. Try to slot the chin right into that sternoclavicular notch while you push your shoulders down and then lower. There's going to be a moment we're going to hover in the last one with the head right over the earth. So be ready for that. As we go into that space, the shoulders are going to want to really reach up. So in this moment, for the next 2 that we're not hovering, draw the shoulder blades onto the earth. Sort of walk them down. Get that nice sense of pressing the rib cage to the floor to sandwich the shoulder blades there. Inhale. Exhale. Lift the head. Really draw your chin in, curl, and then lower down vertebrae by vertebrae. There's 7 vertebrae in the neck. See if you can articulate through each of them. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Lower, think 7 cervical vertebrae. Pause. And this is the one where we're going to hover. So, inhale while you're down. Exhale, lift up. Draw your chin towards your chest. Really look as low on your body as you can. And then we're going to slide down about half an inch. Take a breath. Slide down another half inch. Take a breath. Keep your chin moving towards your chest. Slide down another half inch. Chin towards chest. See if you got another half inch hovering over the floor, chin towards chest, making the shoulders press down. And then, be done. Feel all of that general excitement in your neck. We don't spend a lot of time strengthening it. We kind of spend a lot of time using it, but not strengthening it. And so those exercises, I learned those ones from Carrie Owerko. She's a fantastic teacher. She's a senior Iyengar teacher. And she's super creative. So much fun to practice with. All right, inhale while you're down. Exhale, turn your right ear towards the floor. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, turn your left ear towards the floor. And then let the spine start to play with this idea, okay? So we'll initiate it from the head. Come to neutral. And then exhale, right ear towards the floor. Let your knees go over to the left. Inhale to neutral. Wave through the spine. Find that neutral space. And then drop left ear towards the floor, right knees to the right. And maybe you're cuddling with your family now, like I am. Or maybe you've got all the space of your living room to dance in. Let's go side to side a couple more times. Just feeling the wave through the spine. It is amazing how interconnected the whole body is. We were out for a hike the other day, and Lance has a back that has challenges in it. And he was walking, and his left shoulder was not moving. And I said, "Is your shoulder hurting?" And he said, "No, but my back is." And so it's super fascinating to me, the ways in which we accommodate, where we freeze, where we stop when we have something hurting in the body. And Carrie Ann's challenge has been in her, come on up, and then we'll come all the way up to standing. In her foot, she hurt her foot earlier in the quarantine. No, you gotta come up. She wants to stay lying down. And she was saying that when her foot gets tired, her toes start to turn out, and then she feels it in her knee. And so it's really fascinating, the waves of influence that an injury can have in one part of the body versus another, you know. Yeah. Okay, so here we are.
Yes.
Here we are. Stand up tall in your space. Press your feet down into the floor. So we're finding Tadasana, mountain pose. I say it that way because I think of ta-da, but really it's mountain, tada. Asana is pose. And then check and see, where are your shoulders? Are your shoulders rolling forward? Are your shoulders pressing back a lot? See if you can balance the space of the shoulders And then notice if you can balance the space of the ribs. And then see if you can balance the space of the hips. And then balance the space of the knees. And then balance the space of the ankles. Press down into the floor. Get really, 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 really tall. Release your arms by your sides. Inhale, sweep your arms up. And we lose our fingers. Oh, wow. Grab your right wrist and pull it over to the left. Inhale, come tall. Grab your left wrist. Pull it over to the right. Stay heavy in your left foot. Stay heavy in your right foot. Inhale, come back. Exhale, let's go to the left. Inhale, come back. Exhale, let's go to the right. Inhale, come back. Exhale, release your arms into cactus. Let your chin slide forward and draw back. Slide forward and draw back. Slide forward and draw back. Keep it drawing back. Turn your head to look at your right hand. Inhale, neutral. Turn your head to look at your left hand. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, right hand. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, left hand. Inhale, neutral. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. Press your elbows forward. Push your thumbs back. Move your ribs back. Lift the center of your chest higher. Reach your arms up on your inhale. Exhale, release the arms down. Let's take some movement down into the legs, and then I want to do a little bit of balancing work in this space. So, from right here, step your feet wide. And let's move it towards a forward fold. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, soften the knees. Lean forward. You can bring your hands towards your heart. Let's set the hands on the floor just below the shoulders. And let's slide the hips side to side. So maybe you bend opposite knees as you push your right hip to the right and then your left hip to the left. You might take your gaze with you. So Pasarita Padottanasana, we're going to get a little bit technical. Go with it to the best of your ability. Lift your toes up, soften your knees. Move the weight so you're distributing it across your feet. Settle your toes down. Find the inner edges of the foot and the outer edges of the foot. Broaden your knees so your kneecaps are opening towards the space between the second and third toe. Then press the backs of your calves forward and lift your kneecaps up as you let your head bow down. You may wish to take your hands closer in line with your feet. You may wish to take your hands out ahead of you a little bit more. 3 more breaths in and out of the nose. Let your head be an really ripe fruit dangling from a tree. Let that feel your whole spine, feel the weight of your head as you're spilling forward. Bend your knees, place your hands on your thighs, inhale, climb it upright, and then we'll go ahead and take ourselves into Warrior Two. Turn your right toes out, bend your right knee, press your left hip back, float your arms up, and let your arms come all the way up so the shoulders come up towards your ears. Then I want you to slot the shoulder blades down your back and bring your fingertips out in line with shoulders. And then take your gaze to the right. As you take your gaze to the right, notice if your left shoulder tried to follow you. So let's bring the gaze back center. Draw both shoulder blades onto the back. Inhale. As you exhale, take your gaze to the right. Inhale, neutral. Release your hands. Turn your right toes forward. Left toes out. Bend your left knee. Draw right hip back. Tailbone down. Inhale, sweep your arms up and let your shoulders come up towards your ears, like you're trying to insert them in your earlobes, okay? Then we're going to think shoulder blades onto the back. So it's going to lower the heads of the shoulders away from the ears and bring the arm, the fingertips in line with the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, gaze to the left. As you do that, notice if your right shoulder fell in. So it's come neutral. Roll both the shoulder blades onto the back. So good. And then take your gaze to the left. Release your hands. Sorry, I should have come forward. Take your gaze forward, then release your hands. Turn your left toes forward. Triangle pose, right toes come out. Bend into the right knee, and then think active knee as you take your right leg straight. Slide your right hands down your right leg. Push the back of your hand into your leg. Scoot your outer hip towards your left heel. Roll the shoulders back. Gaze down towards your right big toe. And then gaze neutral and perhaps up towards the ceiling. Let's take 2 more of those, sweeping like you're taking a panoramic picture. Okay? So start with your big toe, and as you inhale, take that slow pan towards the ceiling and a slow pan towards the floor. A slow pan towards the ceiling and a slow pan towards the floor. Bend your right knee, draw yourself upright, turn your right toes forward, left toes out. Bend in for a moment into those left toes so you can find your hip space. Right hip drawing back. Thank you for all the love. And then press calf forward as you straighten out the left leg. We want to keep a lot of sensation and activity around the knee. A lot of us tend to sort of plop out there. So you want to keep a sense of drawing the muscles out. Inhale. Let's take the right hand to the right hip. Inhale, reach the left arm away. Lengthen out, lengthen out, lengthen out. Hand is going to come to the inside of the thigh. Roll the shoulders back. Take your gaze down towards your left great toe, your left big toe. And then we'll do that slow pan. Shoulder blades onto the back. Slow pan and gaze towards the ceiling. And then a slow pan and gaze back towards the floor. We got 2 more of those journeys. Take them with your own breath. The next time your gaze comes to your big toe, leave it there, bend into your left knee, release your left hand, turn your toes forward, and let's gather everything in, okay? So now the work is going to, actually, let's switch it. Go ahead and grab whatever towel, blanket situation you've got going on. So we've got blankets over here, we've got a towel over there. Julia, for her birthday, got an amazing wading pool, but it means that all of our towels are now required for wading pool usage. So I've pulled the yoga blankets out. Okay, we're making a mess. Welcome to Making a Mess 101. From standing, look at this girl. How old is she? Not quite 14, and she needs a hand up. There you go, Paul. Okay, drop your whatever you're using on the floor. Make that uneven mess. And then realize whether you need a stabilization, right? External stabilization. Not your mother. Your mother is not external stabilization. A wall can be external stabilization. A chair can be external stabilization. A table nearby. All right? We're going to step onto our mats with our right foot. Okay? And then come tippy toes on your left foot. And you might need to bend and extend your right leg just to make sure that you've got steadiness there. Let's reach the right arm out to the right and then take the gaze towards your right thumb. Okay? We're going to do the best, so you'll use your left hand on your stabilization unit if you need that, or your left hand can stay on your left hip. We're going to do our best to keep our gaze with our right thumb as we bring, woo, and you may have to make a pause, the knee and the elbow together, okay? It may stay just in your peripheral vision. It's going to be challenging. There's going to be wobbling. We're going to go 5 times. The cueing that I learned with this one is an inhale as you come together and an exhale as you extend, but you decide what works for you today. It is wobblier for me today with, woo, the gaze. So just, generate some peaceful patience. There we go. All right. One more attempt. I'm doing lightning grabs there. Okay. And then let's grab our mess and make it different. Keep things unpredictable for the feet. Step up on with your left foot, right foot back behind you. Right hand is going to go on your stabilization unit or on your hip. Left arm reaches up. Gaze at your left thumb and then draw left elbow towards right knee. The formula is as slow as you possibly can stand it. And I am in wobble zone.
What's the point of using the towel?
It is the point of using the towel.
My thumb is just staying in my periphery. It's okay.
All right, call it. Come out of it.
No more neck stuff.
No more neck stuff? Carrie Ann's done with
I'm
neck
done.
stuff.
I'm done.
She's done with that.
Yes.
No, it's not even 11:40 and they want Shavasana.
Well, it's almost 11:40.
Who do they? It's almost 11:40.
Yeah.
All right, stay next to your stabilization unit. We're going to do more with that balance. So, standing on your left foot. Make the outside of your left foot as parallel to the outside of your mat as you can. Soften the knee a bit and talk to your kneecap about lining up with the middle of your foot. So lining up with the space between your second and third toe. Then lift your right knee and turn your right knee out to the side. You're going to place your right foot along your calf or up into your thigh. Please no pressure on your knee. Perhaps you bring your toes to the earth and put your heel on your ankle. That works too. Then let's bring the hands to the heart. Lift the sternum, fabulous. And maybe you reach up. Maybe you say not today, okay? But do notice if you can drop the heads of your shoulders down in either of those spaces. Can you drop the heads of the shoulders down, pull the chin back, and find that still point. Maybe your left hand is on the wall. Follow the breath. Lance wants to know how long. 3 more breaths. He's now doing breath of fire. All right, release the hands. Turn your right foot forward. Settle the right foot to the floor. And if you've got fun pants on, you may need to adjust your fun pants. Otherwise, just wait for me while I adjust my fun pants. Okay. Line up the outside of the right foot with the outside edge of your mat. And then bend your knee and get your kneecap to line up with that space between the second and third toe. All right? Find that. Float the left knee up. Take the left knee out to the side. Notice the hips want to turn, right? So we're keeping the right hip drawing back, left knee coming open, and then you'll place your left foot on your calf, at your ankle, or above your knee, right? One of those three places, please. Hands at your heart, or perhaps you reach your arms up, and notice if your shoulders really come up. See if you can release the shoulders down, take the ribs back, lift the center of the chest. Smile maybe even. Smirk. Wonder how long this pose is going to last. Two more breaths.
Got a tent over my head. Got a tent to the tree.
Release the foot, bring the knee forward, settle your left foot to the earth, right foot to the earth, and stand. We're going to take that a second time. Everybody's joy. And then Shavasana, she says, they're both. You've got Shavasana allies in my house.
Woke me up at
Yes.
6:30.
Can't you teach a class just Shavasana?
They're requesting the only Shavasana class.
You woke me up at
Yeah,
6:30
we'll have to
today
warn
and
everybody
went
that
on
that's
a
what's
bike
going to happen.
ride.
Okay, shush.
You'll have your biggest crowd ever.
Let's see if it works. All right, parallel the outside edge of your foot. Draw your knee up, lift, 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 lift. Right knee comes up as high as you can get it. Take it out to the side, and then you're going to place it up in your groin, below your left knee, or at the floor. Hands come to the hips, lift the sternum, and let's see if we can take the heads of the shoulders down before we lift the arms up. And you could use your left hand on your stabilization unit. Draw your navel point in, take your tail down, lift the center of your chest. Draw your chin back slightly. Release your arms, turn your right toes forward, settle the right foot to the floor, and then make that outside of the right foot parallel. Step into the right foot, find a Tadasana-like space, float the left knee, take the left knee out to the left without letting the right hip follow, and then we'll place the foot maybe up in your groin, maybe below your knee, maybe at the floor. Right hand could be on your stabilization unit. Hands come to the heart. Otherwise, heads of the shoulders go down. Lift the center of the chest up. And then maybe you reach.
Got a butterfly in my tree. I'm holding it.
Release your hands. Bring your left knee forward. Settle the left foot to the floor. You have arrived. Hallelujah. Release. I shushed him
Are we
and
gonna
he
lay
still
down?
wants Shavasana. We're getting very close to laying down. Very close to laying down. But I want to take one more standing pose. So step towards the front edge of your mat. Take your right foot back. Evidently it's yoga comedy hour around here. Okay, right foot back. Drop your right heel towards the earth. The toes are out at about 45 degrees. Hug your inner thighs. Take your left leg towards straight. And let's lean forward, taking the hands towards the thigh. Push your hands into your thigh to help draw your outer left hip back. Then lengthen your chest forward. Take your left hand to your bum, or right above your bum. Roll the shoulders back and gaze to the left. That hip often wants to kick forward. So see if you can sweep the hip back to make your spine longer here in this revolving triangle pose. We're going to take 3 more breaths. Bend your knee. Inhale, draw yourself upright. Step your feet together. The dog is displaying excellent Shavasana skills. Inhale here. Left foot's going back. Left toes go out about that 45-degree angle. Bend into your right knee for a moment to get the right hip to go back, left hip to come forward. Then straighten out your right leg, thinking calf moving forward, quad lifting up and back. Lean forward, interlace your hands or just rest your hands on that thigh. Feel the flesh of the thigh lift up towards your waist as you push down. Help guide your right hip back. Yeah, so good. Inhale. Take your right hand above your bottom. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale. Turn to the right. Inhale, come back to neutral, bend the knee, step the feet forward. So we'll take that one a second time. I know. With the option to take the hands lower. Okay? So right foot goes back. Drop your right heel towards the floor. Bend into your left knee. Bring your left hip back, right hip forward. Press down into that back heel. Straighten out the left leg. Lean forward. Hands can stay on the thigh, or maybe you slip your hands lower and press down into your shin. As you're doing this, make sure that those calf muscles are trying to repel the hands away. Use that outer left hip back to lengthen through the front of the body. Roll the shoulders. Left hand comes to the bottom. Inhale. Exhale. Turn your chest to the left. Inhale. Exhale. Hands to your thigh. Step your feet together. Stand tall. Left foot goes back. Left heel drops down. Think about 45. Right hip back, left hip forward. Straighten out the right leg. Try to keep down in the big toe mound. Calf forward, quad back, lean forward. Get all that length in your spine. Hands can stay on the thigh, or maybe they slip down to the shin. Really push the calf muscles into your palms as you draw your shin bones back. Right hands to your low back. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, turn the chest. On the other side. Bend your knee. Inhale, lift yourself up. Sorry. That was
good.
That was good. Excellent. Okay. Good work. Lie down. Do it. Do it. Do it. Lie down. Strap deployment. So if you have a belt, I don't know. I think the green one may be in my room. We may have to go hunting for straps around here. Okay, if you don't have a strap, your towel or your blanket can also work. Okay. Lie down. Roll your shoulders under you. Lift your hips and kind of jiggle them around. Make yourself comfortable. Oh, don't quite fall asleep. All right, now, why not? Take your right foot and place it in your towel, your strap, whatever you're using, and reach your right heel up. There's another strap in the room, in our room. Okay. Bend your right knee, extend your right leg. Bend your right knee, extend your right leg. Bend your right knee, shoulders towards the floor. Take your gaze to the right. Straighten your right leg. Now, take both straps into your left hand, or both sides of your towel. Drop your right arm to the floor and take your right foot slightly across midline. So you're feeling stuff in your outer right hip, maybe in your hamstrings, maybe in your quadricep. You may need to bend and extend a few times here to just bring a little bit of willingness into the body. Relax your right arm. Turn your gaze to the ceiling. Bring your right foot back to neutral. Undo right foot from whatever you're using. And then draw your left knee into your chest. Capture the ball of the left foot. Okay? Then we'll settle in here and we'll do a little bend and extend. So bend your left knee. Extend your left leg. Bend your left knee. Extend your left leg. Bend your left knee. Extend your left leg. Stay here. Roll that outer hip towards the floor. The outer left hip. Then take both straps into your right hand. Drop your left arm towards the floor. Take your gaze to the left. And slowly draw. You're going to keep your left hip down as you draw your left foot across midline. In this space, do a few bends and extends. Bend the knee a little bit, extend the leg. Notice how much that left hip wants to leave the floor, right? We're going to see if we can convince the left hip to stay on the floor as we extend the leg. Breathe a few times in stillness. Then we'll relax the left arm, bring the gaze to neutral, bring the left foot to neutral, release your strap, your leg, pause, arms and legs and head all on the floor. We're going to take it a second time. You have an opportunity to level up by extending your opposite leg. You might choose not to level up, okay? So work with the body you've got, not the body you had when you were 18 or when you were 13. Yep, Carrie Ann's going to have to use the body she has at 13. All right. She's using it for Shavasana. Yeah. You can't use the 68-year-old body yet. You're not there. All right. Right knee into your chest. He is in his 68th year of life. Lance's birthday is June 4th, you guys. Excellent yoga happening June 4th.
Party at our house.
Party at our house. From a distance. Okay. Press your right hip down towards the floor. Bring your right knee into your chest. Hook the strap across the ball of the foot. And then begin to extend the right leg. Outer hip sweeps away. Take your left leg long if you want added information. For some of us, added information is awesome. For others of us, added information is irritating. So notice if it's irritating or awesome. Awesome can just mean there's a lot more sensation. Irritating means pain. Kick out through your heel and see if you can draw your calf muscle closer to your face. Then you're going to hold both sides of your strap with your left hand. Right hand opens to the right. Take your gaze to the right. Sweep your outer left hip away and then take your foot just slightly across midline. If you want to bend and extend a few times, do that. That can help. The bend and extend can help ease into the space. Sometimes the muscles aren't ready to go to their greatest length, and so we talk to them. We massage them with movement. Come back neutral. Bend your right knee. Settle your right foot to the floor. Settle your left foot to the floor. So you're in a little reset space. Lift your hips, wiggle them around, settle back down. Second side. Every time I say that, I think of that Girl Scout song about, second verse, same as the first, ought to get better, but it's going to get worse. I hope it gets better. All right. Left knee into your chest. Scoot that outer left hip away. Maybe you start extending your right leg. Swoop your strap across the ball of your left foot and start to extend the left foot towards the ceiling. Okay? The goal is to keep the heads of the shoulders down as we extend the leg. So you want to release lower on your strap so you can get the heads of your shoulders down. Maybe you need a few bends and extends just to open the back of the knee, the Achilles tendon space at the ankle. Maybe you're feeling stuff up near your butt. What? Press out through both heels. Sweep the left hip away. Stay with it. Now you're all going to wish we were back in tree pose. Your right hand is going to take both sides of the strap. Left arm releases towards the floor. Gaze goes to the left hand. And then just take your left foot slightly across midline. Outer hip, at least in my body, wants to reach up. I'm going to try to press my outer hip down as I pull the foot just across midline. For a lot of us, that gets into the hamstring track. For me, I feel it across my IT band space. For some people, it's all quad they feel. Just notice where you're at. I'm using my left hand here to sort of press that outer left hip away. Release your gaze to neutral. Bend your left knee. Put your left foot flat on the floor. Bend your right knee. Put your right foot flat on the floor. Bring your elbows by your sides. Roll your shoulders under. Press down into those amazing elbows. Inhale, lift your hips up. If you want to grab the outside edges of your mat, that's a good choice. If you want to interlace your fingers, that can be a good choice. And let's roll the shoulders under and stay in bridge pose. Lengthen your tailbone, draw your ribs down, take your chest towards your chin. Undo your hands, lower your bottom towards the floor. Pause. Release your arms out in a T. Take a few breaths. We are winding towards Shavasana, but we're not there yet. I know. There is the reality that sometimes we need to take Shavasana early. And if that's the space that you're in, I can't see you. I can see my daughter doing it, but I can't see you. So if you need to take that space, you take it. Even if we're in class together. If you need to take Shavasana sooner than later, it's okay. Draw your elbows back towards your sides. Lengthen your tailbone. Lift your hips up. Grab the outside edges of your mat and pull, or interlace your fingers. Roll the shoulders under you. Reach your tailbone long. Knees try to stack over the ankles. Chest tries to stack over the shoulders. Stretch out the front of your body. Release your hands. Lower your hips towards the floor. Pause. Take your arms out in a T. Take your gaze towards your right thumb. Notice if your left shoulder followed you. See if you can roll your left shoulder underneath you as your gaze is going towards your right thumb. Inhale to neutral. Tuck your right shoulder blade onto your back. Take your gaze over to the left. Gaze comes neutral. Draw your right knee into your chest. Lance is going to answer the phone. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. And then decide for you, would it feel better to lift your hips up and take that stretch? Would it feel better to bring your shin towards your chest? Would you like to be right there in neutral? So find the space that's going to feel best for your body. I'm going to leave my head and chest and shoulders out of it. I'm going to just use my legs here. Keep pulling the knee into the chest as you press your hips away, reaching the tailbone away. Release your left foot to the floor, your right foot to the floor. Pause. Draw your left knee into your chest. Cross left ankle over right thigh. Reach the knee away from you in this figure 4 place. And then you choose for yourself. Is it better to lift your hips up and take your stretch here? Sometimes that gives me better information. Or is it better for you today to draw your right knee into your chest as you're moving your left knee away? Maybe it's better for you to keep your right foot on the floor. See how much of your pelvis you can keep encountering the floor as you draw that left knee, left shin towards you. Release the right foot to the floor if it's up, left foot to the floor definitely. And let's take a twist before we release all the way. I'm going to lead a more complicated twist today. You decide if your body needs a less complicated one. Right knee comes into the chest, cross, right knee over left, as high on your thighs as you can. Then float your knees up and go over to the left. All right? Oftentimes this means that right shoulder pulls off the floor. So I'm gonna ease out, drop my right shoulder to the floor, take my gaze to the right,
and then let the knees travel back to the left. So my goal today is to really work the right shoulder down and take my gaze to the right. Squeeze the inner thighs. Take your gaze back to neutral before you bring your legs up. Then the legs come up, uncross if you're crossed, and we'll cross the other way. So left knee comes into the chest. Cross the left leg as high on the right as you can. Squeeze the left heel towards the right shin. And then we'll go ahead and take both knees to the right. You may notice that your left shoulder pulls off. That's your reality. That's fine. Ease out. Bring your shoulders back to the floor. Take your gaze to the left and see if you can keep the shoulder and the gaze left as we drop the knees to the right. I'm mushing my chin into my microphone here, which cannot be aiding the fabulousness of our sound. Squeeze the legs together, take your gaze to neutral, bring the knees up, uncross, draw both knees into the chest, nice big hug here, and then choose, you can stay right here in Apanasana, thinking about pulling the bottom back towards the floor, the shoulders towards the floor, or you can bring yourself into Ananda Balasana, which is happy baby pose, with the soles of the feet going towards the ceiling, knees dropping down, tailbone pulling long. Okay? So stay with your pose. Few more breaths. And then release that fabulous body of yours all the way to the floor. Join Carrie Ann in her Shavasana. Softening across your brow, across your jaw, through the back of your neck, into your shoulder girdle, the back of your ribs, your belly, your legs, letting everything get soft. This week, we're exploring the idea of Ahimsa, of non-harming. And I'm going to read this passage about Ahimsa from Deborah Adele's book, The Yamas and Niyamas, Finding Our Courage. We only have to look around us to see that fear abounds. It abounds in cowardly faces that turn away, in violent attacks, in walls of protection, in bins of possessions, in numerous unkind words and gestures. In an abundant world, hoarders take more than their share, leaving others lacking. Wars are started and fought to seize the goods and keep the power. All around the world, children's innocence is destroyed by abuse and horror. If we look closely, we can trace all of these acts of greed, control, and insecurity back to their root, fear.
fear creates violence. If we are to begin to address these fears, we need to know the difference between the fears that keep us alive and the fears that keep us from living. The first kind of fear is instinctual and built in us for survival. The second kind of fear is fear of the unfamiliar. The unfamiliar can become an abundant place for our exploration once we realize where our fear lives. This fear lives only in our imagination. It is only our minds that have created the turmoil in our gut and kept us hostage in the possibility of our own lives. An example of fear that lives only in the imagination might be skydiving. For me, the thought of jumping out of a plane at high altitude and remembering to open my parachute somewhere along the way sends cold shivers down my spine and giant rumblings of fear in my gut. All of this is happening in my body in this very moment, and yet I have never experienced this activity. For me, to walk into this fear, I would first imagine a different scenario for myself, something that looks like adventure and fun, something where I am competent and collected as I jump from heaven to earth. And then where I really step into my courage, I would call a pilot. Seeking out people and experiences we would normally avoid provides a fertile place to learn new things about ourselves and about life. Even those we might call enemies have much to teach us. People we have previously avoided will open up new ways of thinking and will give us pieces of ourselves. As we walk into our fears with both people and experiences, we will find that our sense of self has grown. Our view has expanded, the world suddenly looks like a bigger place, and we are more competent to navigate it. As we expand ourselves into these new places, our minds and hearts grow more open, and we have less need to be violent. Thus, to create a life and world free of violence is first and foremost to find our own courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to be afraid without being paralyzed. Courage is found by facing our fears, the small ones, the fat ones, the embarrassing ones, and the really big, scary ones. To live the fullness that our own life is inviting us into, we often have to let ourselves be afraid and do it anyways. If we keep ourselves safe, how will our courage grow? One of the reasons for Gandhi's unmatched power was that he continued to stay with life. He didn't run when life got too confusing or difficult. He stayed and learned from the moment, and in the process he became a skillful leader. No one could match, and a force that no one could stop. For Gandhi, fear became a stimulus to develop his courage. Feel this amazing body that you get to live in, with all its constituent parts. And start to open and close your fingers and toes. To circle your wrists and your ankles. To go both ways with those circuits. Draw your knees into your chest. Roll over to whichever side of your mat is uncrowded. Press down into the floor and lift yourself up to a seat. Bring your hands together in front of your heart space Lift your heart up, so big and tall, so courageous, and bow your head. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to guide someone through their yoga practice. And it has been so good for me to face my fear of being on camera and not being able to see people. So thank you for gracing me with your presence, with your practice. May the practices that we choose draw us deeper into our courage and help us to see which fears are real and which ones paper tiger. The light within me salutes and honors that very same light in each and every one of you. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for being here. I wish you a beautiful and warm Wednesday, and I will see you all soon.